Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Going to Bat with Team Irie. This is episode number 44. If you've missed some of the previous episodes, you can scroll down the foundation page here and watch some of those. And this is our last episode for the season until we start this winter. So, just keep an eye on the David Irie Foundation page here and see when some of the upcoming interviews will be. Also, if you'd like to donate to the foundation, which we raise money for spinal cord injury research and also high school softball and baseball scholarships, you can go to the foundation website, and also you can go there and look at some of our upcoming events like the Diamond Dinner that we do here in Maysville, Kentucky, and different places. Some of the events we have when we're allowed to have them. But if you want to check out our website, it is dif35.org. Tonight's guest is Scott Hairston. Scott, I really do appreciate you coming on. And how you doing out there?
Oh, thanks for having me, David. We're hanging in there, just like everybody else. I mean, I'm out in Arizona, so we've had a little outbreak about a month ago. So we're just managing it and just staying safe, only going out and doing the essential things. So, yeah, we're just trying to enjoy our summer the best we can amongst my family and just trying to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, and I know it's hard no matter where you're at, but I know through Arizona and the Sun Belt, down through there, I know the last few days or the last few weeks has really skyrocketed the cases. So yeah, definitely stay safe out there.
Oh, we will.
If you don't care, I'd like to start out a little bit and talk about your family, because I think it's pretty special. I mean, a lot of us in this area know about the Boone family, of course, and the Bales and all that, because we're big Cincinnati Reds fans. But historically, the Hairston family is the biggest baseball family in Major League Baseball. Would you care to tell us a little bit about your family?
Yeah, so it started with my grandfather back in 1951. He played for the White Sox. He became the first African American to play for the White Sox, 1951. He played the Negro Leagues for a handful of years before that in the 1940s. And after that came my Uncle Sam, who played the minor leagues, my Uncle John, who played for the 1969 Cubs, and then my dad, who played 13 seasons in the big leagues. And then we had my Uncle John, his three sons played minor league ball. My dad, of course, there was my brother Jerry, who played roughly 16 seasons in the big leagues, and then came myself, who played 11. So in a nutshell, that's the lineage there. We're spread out to 3 generations.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I don't know if it's something in your drinking water or if it's just in your genes or whatever, but I mean, you all have it going.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me about that, but I think it just stems from having the passion to play the game and having good role models. I think that's very important. I mean, my grandfather started it all, and we all looked up to him. And then my dad really instilled some good quality and character with us, our family. And I think we just wanted to make him proud. So we worked very hard to get where we needed to be, and we were blessed enough to have good careers.
And that kind of leads me into this question. I know you answered a little bit of it there, but growing up in a family that was so connected to baseball, did you feel any pressure that you had to play, or is it just kind of a natural thing and just where you was connected so much to baseball, just like everything fell into place?
That's a good question. A lot of people ask me that. I don't think I ever felt that I was pressured to play the game. My dad kind of really made the point when I was very young. Baseball is a great game, but you play it because you love it. Don't play it because you have to. And so he said that to me at a young age. And being around the clubhouse, that was just very natural for me to want to play baseball. And my love for the game grew as I got older. And once I pretty much got to or junior high, 13, 14, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I mean, there wasn't anything else that I strived for. I just went all in on baseball, and I felt that in my heart that if I worked really hard and just stay focused, I can achieve what I want to achieve. So that's just in a nutshell. That's just been my drive and motivation. It comes from my family, and the inner person who I am loves the game and always wanted to play at the major league level.
Now, your dad, what years did he play?
73 was his rookie year, and played, I think, 3 or 4 years in the 70s, then played in Mexico for about 3 years in the summer league, and then came back to the big leagues in 1980, and then had parts from 80 to 87, and then 88, 89, he played partial seasons with the White Sox. So he had a pretty long career. I mean,
Yeah, he did.
started
I
in the
know.
big leagues here in America, then went to Mexico and came back, and then had a good second part of his career.
Yeah, I know. I'm good friends with Al Oliver that played for the Pirates, and he won the World Series with them in '71, and he was, of course, teammates with Clemente and Willie Stargell and all those guys. But I was talking to Al the other day, and he remembered playing baseball against your dad.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Okay, yeah.
of course, I was talking to Al a little bit about that. But being a baseball family, even coming up through the minor leagues. I know just because, your family history there and the genetics, it's still something you've got to overcome to make it, of course, to the upper level or up to major leagues. Now, did you advance pretty quickly through the minor leagues, or was there any kind of struggle getting through the minor leagues, or do you feel like it went pretty smoothly for you?
I said it went. I think it went pretty smoothly until I got to the big leagues. I went from rookie ball, A ball, double A, triple A, and then our second baseman got hurt. I think the second week of May, and then that's when I got called up. But the next year after that, I got sent down to triple A, and then it was back and forth. And then the year after that, uh, in 2006, I was back and forth as well. So, and then starting in 2007, that's when I uh, was a regular in the big leagues. And so I would say that I was somewhat of a journeyman to a certain extent. And then once I got into the big leagues in 2007, I was able to stay there for 7 solid years.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that I've talked to, or a lot of the major league players. They said once they got to the major leagues, it was a struggle to keep where you were at because they said there was always somebody trying to beat you out of that position or somebody coming up, and they said that was a big thing was trying to stay where you were at once you got there.
Yeah, it is a big thing. I mean, once you get at that level, it's just a constant turnover. If you're not performing, they have people right behind you in AAA and sometimes on the same team ready to take your spot. So I think the phrase that I've always heard is it's hard to get to the big leagues. It's very hard, but it's even harder to stay there. So that became so true because especially once I got traded, it just seemed like the clock was ticking, that I had to prove that I belong there. And so fortunately, again, I had a good first couple weeks with the Padres that was able to kind of ignite my career, and I was able to stick around for a little longer.
Yeah, and I know talking about coming up through the minor leagues, and a lot of kids, and I know guys around here that made it to the minor leagues, and then after a couple years they just left and then done something else. But any advice to a kid that dreams of playing in the major leagues but may have some struggles reaching that level?
Well, I would say just always be willing to learn and work hard. Ask questions to those who have been around the game. And nowadays there's a lot of information out on the internet, YouTube videos or whatnot of ex-pros or current pros talking about the game and what got them there. I think that's very important for kids to reach out for that information because there's a lot of information that's not good on the internet that kids are getting involved with, but we won't get into that. But if they can just focus in on having a few players that they, I guess, look up to and really intrigued how they made it and what they did to get there and their work ethic and drills that they did. I think that's important for kids to learn that early. So do that, seek advice from ones that have been there, have a passion for learning, have a passion for working, because it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of practice to be a professional.
Yep, you're exactly right. And talking about the major leagues, what was it like when you finally did get the call that you were going to major leagues? I mean, what was that feeling, or what was that like when you heard that?
Yeah, it was a dream come true. I mean, it was something that I had a feeling in my heart it was going to happen maybe sometime at the end of the year, because that was my first year in AAA. And there was word that I might get a call up at the end of the year in September, but not in May. I didn't think it was going to happen in May. And I didn't know that our second baseman got hurt. And so I got the call early. And I remember being in the Las Vegas airport, and we were waiting for our bags, and my manager, Chip Hale, came up to me and says, "Hey, when you get your bags, you're not going to be staying here. You just got the call to the big leagues. Congratulations." So I was very happy, and I boarded a plane and met the team, and I called my parents, and it was a great feeling, dream come true. I mean, it was just head start spinning right away, and this is happening. It's my dream's coming true. So
Exactly. I know it's a little different from Albie Pearson, which I interviewed him the other day, which he played for the Washington Senators. So he's a little older than you, but
a little bit.
yeah, he was the 1958 Rookie of the Year, and he said when he got the call, he didn't get a call; it was from a telegram.
Oh wow, a telegram.
Yeah, yeah, that the Washington Senators wanted him. So that's a little, and he was talking about today's game against their, the differences. And he said today, you might be able to look at, your at bat right after your at bat and go behind the dugout and look at it. He said we didn't have those opportunities back then. So
they didn't have that technology.
Yeah, and it was a pretty nice interview. He was actually, I'll tell you this, he was the last person to be seen in public with Marilyn Monroe because he escorted her in 1961 in Dodger Stadium to the center of the field for a big event they had down there. So, he was a pretty cool interview, which I've got him down, on one of these interviews I had too. But anyway, do you remember your first at bat? I mean, your first home run and who it was against?
Oh yeah, I remember it. I remember everything about it. It was against Carl Pavano, Florida Marlins. This was in Miami, old stadium. It was a 3-1 count, and I think it was my first at bat of the game. So nobody on base. I'm thinking, okay, I'm a rookie. There's no way in the world he's throwing me a breaking ball 3-1 here. So I was already, I think I was 0 for 6. 0 for my first 6 at bats in the big leagues, and I'm like, man, get a hold of this fastball, put a good swing on it. Come on, you're going to get it. And so he's a big guy, so I just saw it right out of his fingertips, and I just told myself, don't get too excited. You're going to get a fastball. Don't try to hit a home run. But I ended up hitting a home run. I mean, I saw it, I hit it, and it was in the gap, and I knew that, okay, that's hard enough to get past the outfielders. So for sure it's a hit, maybe it's a home run. And I didn't hear it hit the wall, and then I looked up and the outfielders were stopped, and then I knew it was a home run. So kept running around the bases, and then it hit me like once I touched second base, like, yep, this is my first home run. So and hit.
That's pretty cool. We've got Steve Dragon here. He said, hard-nosed player, enjoyed watching him. Talking about you when he remembers you. So that's pretty cool. You also played, of course, you played well for the Diamondbacks, but when you were traded, and you touched on this a little earlier, to San Diego, your first game, 2 games, matter of fact, was pretty memorable. You hit 3 home runs consecutively in 2 games. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I came in, I believe, in the 5th inning or so. Milton Bradley got injured, and so I came to the game, and then I went into the outfield, and then I think the 7th inning I hit a home run, which became my first hit as a Padre, and then in the 9th inning I hit a walk-off home run. So that was 2 home runs there, and then the next day we had, I think it could have been a day game or something like that. I hit a home run on my first at bat of that game. So that was, and I didn't really think much of it when I hit that home run in my first at bat the next game. It didn't dawn on me that I hit 3 in a row until after the reporter told me, "Hey, you're the, I don't know, the last the last Padre to do that was back in, I don't know, 2006 or something like that."
Yeah.
So I didn't really know that.
Oh yeah, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then like you said, you came in to substitute for Milton Bradley, and of course, like I said, you weren't playing around. Milton Bradley, which that was a line from my uncle. But anyway,
that's fun.
Yeah. So and then also, of course, that game was against San Francisco, and something else happened a little bit that game too with Barry Bonds, didn't it?
Yeah, was that the night. Was he at 7:55?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were on the field playing when that happened.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you talk about being at the right place at the right time. I mean, to watch Barry make history like that was pretty incredible. I mean, he was so locked in, and I was playing on the warning track every time he came up because I knew something was going to happen, and sure enough, he hit 7:55 right over my head. It hit the second deck and came and went straight down. I heard it hit the second deck, and I'm thinking it's going to hop onto the field, and it didn't. It stayed, and somebody threw a fake ball onto the field, and I ran and got it and picked it up. It was a plastic ball. So,
oh my God!
Yeah, that was really awesome to witness that. I mean, something I tell my kids about.
Exactly, and I know, like I was talking to you earlier, when I had Albie Pearson on here, he was talking about Ted Williams because in Albie's the first year, which he was the shortest guy in major leagues at that time. He was 5'5", 138 pounds, and he said he was in a slump the first year, and he's talking about Ted Williams in Boston. Hollered at him, whistled at him underneath the. He said there was a door there, and he went over there and he talked to Ted Williams, and Ted Williams, got him out of his batting slump and told him, of course, how to hit it and stuff. But he was comparing Barry Bonds. He said the best batter in his day, hitter, was Ted Williams. He said he hasn't seen anybody any better but Barry Bonds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would agree. Barry, he just had that special eye at the plate. I mean, there was not too many at-bats where he looked foolish. I mean, he had such a good understanding of what he was trying to do and can execute when pitchers made a mistake. I mean, his eye at the plate, if the pitcher threw one just an inch or two off the plate, he didn't budge. I mean, talk about a guy that was just locked in and can hit the ball out of the ballpark every direction of the field. He was dangerous. Pitchers didn't really know where to pitch him. So I was fortunate enough to play against him. I saw history, and I didn't see a better hitter who I played against, honestly.
This is something that just popped in my head. Your brother, now he played the same time as you did, didn't he?
He did.
Did you ever play against him?
Oh yeah, yeah. We played several times against each other. We played together in 2010 with the Padres.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. So the games that you played against him, did you do better than him, or did he outdo you?
It was. I think it was hit or miss. I mean, I think I had more maybe game-winning hits or something like that, or more home runs, but he probably made more web gems than I did. But
there you go. You got to compete against your brother, of course. You're playing against your brother. You got to try to outdo him a little bit there. I've got brothers, and that's what we did growing up. But anyway, you played, of course, for the Mets in 2012, and it's like you hit 20 home runs. I mean, it was like an awesome year. What do you kind of attribute to that big year of power and of course, the RBIs and doubles and everything you had that year? Was it just because of more playing time?
I would say the consistent playing time.
Yeah.
I was able to get in the lineup quite frequently at one point. We had a few outfielders that were um, on and off hurt throughout the year. Jason Bay, Angel Pagan, Andres Torres. So we were kind of shuffling around, and I got hot at the beginning of the year, and we had some lefties in our division, some really good lefties, Cole Hamels and Cliff Lee, and I was able to have some success against them early. And so I think Terry Collins had confidence in me whenever we were facing a left-handed pitcher, throw me in the lineup. So we faced a lot of them that year, and usually when there's a lefty pitching, I was in the lineup, and I was able to have success. And that was my free agent year, so that was another thing that I was really happy and motivated to have a good year, and I would attribute that some success to because of that reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you were also known, and I've talked to a few guys about being, of course, you're a great person, a role model, and then thinking about your years with New York, because I talked to a few people up there, and of course, they were bragging about you as a person and such a great guy. But up there, they also talked about you being a clutch hitter. And of course, I looked at some of your highlights, of course, from 2012, but also for San Diego. I mean, you were really one heck of a clutch hitter. Why was that? Was that just like you had to bear down more, or just got the right pitches? What do you think was the reason for you being such a great clutch hitter?
I think just bearing down and wanting to get the job done for the team and wanting to be in that situation. There's a lot of guys that want to be in that situation. There's some guys that shy away from those type of situations, but I was one of those guys that would say in my mind, man, I hope that I get a chance to win this game in the bottom of the ninth inning. And I would just kind of map it out in my head. Okay, the end of the bottom of the eighth. Okay, I'm batting fifth next inning, so there could be a couple runners on when I'm up, if it gets to the spot. So then you start to daydream. You start to think of envisioning yourself, visualizing you getting the game-winning hit. Just stuff like that would go through my head, and I think that's a big part of success too, visualizing and seeing yourself getting that hit. So I learned to do that, and I learned to do that, and I just that was just inviting to me. I wanted to get the job done for the team.
It's like a dream come true. I mean, even when people that never played Major League Baseball, just high school baseball or wherever we played in, of course, we always wanted that game-winning hit or that game-winning home run. So it's nice to know, even at the major league level, you think the same way we do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to. I mean, the baseball is a kid's game. I guess it's a game that you go out and you can act like a 5-year-old and nobody would think otherwise. I mean, you see it on TV all the time, especially in the playoffs. Players come out of the dugout all happy, high-fiving, hugging, and
Yeah.
it's that type of game. So, and then if somebody hits a walk-off, you act silly for about 10 minutes, and it's a great part of the game. It's why we play. We dream about stuff like that. So I was happy enough to experience that as a player.
Yeah, exactly. And, we've talked about your moment watching Barry Bonds hit his 755th home run and that. But how about yourself? Of course, you had a lot of great moments. And for yourself personally, what's been your most memorable moment?
I would say game 163. It was a playoff, one game playoff against the Rockies in 2007. So it was winner goes on and plays in the playoffs, loser goes home. So I was able to hit a home run to put us up by 2 in the top of the 13th inning. And obviously the rest of the tale is not too happy because we ended up losing that game in the bottom of the 13th. Trevor Hoffman gave up 3 runs, and then we ended up going home. But I think that was my most memorable moment. I mean, that's, again, it capped off a year that I was trying to prove that I belonged in the big leagues and had a lot of clutch hits. And really good memories. And I think after that season, even running into Padres fans, they would remember where they were when I hit that home run, and to this day, some of my family members would bring that up. Some of my relatives, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, stuff like that. They look back on that day. They were watching it together as a family, and they're happy, real happy, yelling and screaming. My parents were watching that game, so it was good. It was a great year that year.
That's really cool. It's just talking to you and listening to your memories and everything, your most memorable moments and all that. I mean, it helps us relate to you as a person and also a player. It's pretty cool to hear this stuff. And Steve Dragon said, "Shame he didn't get more time. He played like you're supposed to, hard and for the love." So, and I can tell that just by listening to you. It really comes out. Now, you played, of course, 11 years or whatever there in the major leagues. Now, you faced a lot of pitchers. Who do you think was the toughest pitcher that you ever faced?
Oh man, that's a good question. Oh man, I faced a lot of them.
Now, did you ever face Randy Johnson?
I did, but that was past his prime. Okay. I faced Tim Wakefield.
Knuckleball.
I faced Tim Wakefield in Boston in 2009, and his knuckleball, they said, was moving at a ridiculous amount, better than he ever threw. I mean, I think he won a Cy Young one year, or he was close. Even better than that year, his Cy Young year. That ball was moving. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just remember being in Fenway Park. That was my second start for the Oakland A's, and I was able to sneak out a hit against him. I don't know how I hit the ball, but I thought I was going to strike. I think I struck out 2 times and walked once, and then got a double or something like that. I would say Tim Wakefield, hands down, the best knuckleball I've ever seen in my life.
That's pretty cool, and I can kind of relate to the knuckleball pitcher. And I'm not saying I was anything great before I got hurt throwing a knuckleball, but a lot of us in my family would throw a knuckleball, and a guy here in town wanted to see when we was playing a softball game a knuckleball, and I was kind of hesitant to throw it to him because it did break pretty good, and I said, well, I'll go ahead and throw it to you, and I did, and he missed it, hit him between the eyes. He hit the ground. I thought I killed him. So, he didn't ask me to throw him another one, but
I wouldn't have either.
Yeah, those knuckleballs can get crazy, and I know. Oh, yeah. I mean, they are really hard to hit.
Yeah.
And thinking about you played, like I said, with quite a few teams, and this is something I wondered about too. What do you do with your jerseys and stuff for all the teams you've played for? Is it like something you frame and put on your wall? I mean, you have to keep them.
Yeah, I kept most of them. They were, I mean, they're in my closet. A couple of them are in my closet. A couple of them are in bags. My rookie jersey is framed in my weight room in my house. I kept that one and framed it, along with my dad's jersey and my brother's jersey as well, in my weight room. So one of them is only framed. I think my Washington Nationals one is in my closet now, and then the rest are in a duffel bag in the garage. But I don't. I'm kind of sentimental, and I probably should do something more with my jerseys, but maybe sign one and give one to my dad, and sign one and give one to my brother, something like that. I'll probably do that pretty soon.
That's not a bad idea. It'd be a good Christmas present, but do not get rid of them. Save them.
At least, I'm not getting rid of them. No.
Yeah, no, keep them in your family because that's pretty cool. Especially the history with your family. It's amazing. Thinking about your uniforms too. Did you have a favorite uniform?
Oh man, good question. Favorite uniform.
I'm trying to get you to think a little bit here.
Yeah. What did I like wearing the best?
That Washington Nationals, I don't know. I liked it maybe just because it was red and white like the Cincinnati Reds. I don't know. But that was pretty sharp.
Yeah, the Nationals were good. The New York Mets were really good too. I liked it. Was just a classic New York Mets one.
I saw you one in the Padres one that reminded me I don't know if it was a throwback uniform, but it looked like one of the ones like when Tony Gwynn would wear it, like back in
Right.
the 80s or so.
The 1970s, right? The late 70s.
Yeah.
I really like that one too. The brown and yellow one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Uh-huh. I actually signed that one that I wore and gave it to one of my good friends.
Did you really?
He sent me a text because he saw that game and he's like, my goodness, I love those jerseys. That's one of my favorites. And I was like, okay. And then I signed it for him and sent it to his house, and he was very happy. So that's where that one's at.
That's pretty cool. Now, when you played for San Diego, and this is just something off the top of my head, did you ever get to meet Tony Gwynn?
I did. I met him a few times, and great guy, unbelievable guy. I mean, he's missed by so many people. Knowledgeable, very respected and respectful to everybody. I had a privilege to talk hitting with him and then listen to him talk hitting with people in the batting cage. And so I would just go down there when I knew he was down there. I would sit on the bench and just sit there and listen to him talk for about an hour and then head back up to the locker room. But I had a privilege of meeting him and playing with his son, Tony Jr.
Yeah. Thinking about Tony Gwynn, and he was, of course, my favorite San Diego Padre ever, but also one of my favorite players ever. I mean, the way he could hit the ball blows your mind.
Yeah, he was an artist up there. I mean, such a fluid swing. It just seemed like, again, I remember watching him play. It just seemed like he didn't take a bad swing. Mm-hmm. He wasn't off balance. Pitchers didn't have his number or fool him. I mean, he was just so fluid, stayed inside the ball so well. Nasty pitch outside, he just hit it the other way, no problem. Yeah, it's very tough to do. That's not easy.
And I was looking at some of the stats he had, even like against the better pitchers like Greg Maddux and stuff. They could not hardly get him out. It just like blows your mind the kind of hitter he was, and also everybody always talked about how great a guy he was too, just like you did. So I mean, it had to be a great honor to be sitting there and talking to Tony Gwynn. I mean, that had to be awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, and again, it's one of those moments where you just took it all in. It's very sad that he passed way too early. But I am happy that I at least got to know him a little bit and was around him.
Exactly, and which I've never met him, but I remember the interviews and stuff, and you could just tell how nice a guy he was. So, I mean, it really came through. Now, something else I thought of too. Now, a lot of these players have superstitions. Now, did you ever have a superstition?
Not a crazy one. I mean, I would have my rituals, like on deck circle. I remember I would, when the guy would make the out in front of me or got a base hit or whatever, I would adjust my batting gloves like 2 times each hand. And then I'd take my helmet off, hit it twice, shake it twice, and then put it back on. And I would just do that. And it would just feel awkward if I didn't do that. So maybe that is superstitious. Maybe it's a ritual. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I didn't really have like a lucky shirt or, I don't know, lucky batting gloves. There's sometimes people would wear like the same undershirt every game or the same sliding shorts every game. Obviously, they'd wash it, but I wasn't really one of those types. I figured it'd just get in my head more than anything.
So you didn't go out there and lick the bat like or nothing?
I didn't do any crazy stuff like that.
Well, I hope Puig doesn't lick the bat this year with the coronavirus going around.
Yeah, I know. That'd be nasty. Get it on the ball.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good at all.
No.
But, thinking about some of the funny things like we're talking about, has there been anything funny happen to you or any clubhouse stories you care to share that's kind of funny that most people wouldn't know about?
Okay, so this was my first year with the Padres. I think it was a first day game. So this was at Petco Park. And we have breakfast laid out in the clubhouse, in the cafeteria, and there is 24 donuts, and then every single one of those donuts had a bite out of it, except one. So one was a full glazed donut. So I get my breakfast, get that glazed donut, take it to my table, sit down, and I was just wondering. I asked a couple guys, "Is there some reason why? Who took a bite out of every single donut and then left one not?" And then they were playing dumb because I was a new guy on the team, and I don't know. We don't know who did that. That's weird. So then I eat my donut last, and Trevor Hoffman is sitting to the right of me, and then I think Trevor was sitting to the right of me, and then Brian Giles was sitting across from me. And as I start eating my donut, I'm halfway done, and he looks at me. He's like, "Hey, how's your donut?" And I'm like, "Good. It's fine. It tastes good. Yeah, it's good." He goes, "Oh," and then I go, "Do you know who did that? Who took a bite out of everything?" He goes, "It was me." And I said, "Well, why didn't you take a bite out of this one?" He goes, "Because I licked that whole donut."
Oh no!
And then my jaw like dropped, and everybody started busting out. The whole cafeteria was busting out laughing, and I was already halfway through that donut. He licked that whole donut. That was the bait, and I was the guy that took the bait.
Oh
Everybody knew
my
not
gosh!
to touch that donut except for me.
Oh my gosh, that's awful. That was worse than Johnny Lemaster talked about his first time that he played for San Francisco when he got called up and they hit his spikes. The veterans hit his spikes and he didn't think he was going to get played because he was his first game and the manager called him out there and he had to look for his spikes. Time he found his spikes and got to the field, he didn't even have time to warm up.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
That's not cool.
no, and the other thing is that his first major league at bat was inside the park home run, and it's only like not very many people done that, but he said it hit a seam or something there at San Francisco and jumped over the outfielder's head, and he said he never ran so fast in his life. So his first at bat was an inside the park home run.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yeah.
That's not too many people can say that.
Yep, and for him to stay, of course, he was a shortstop there in Candlestick forever, and I kind of felt sorry for him to play that many years in Candlestick. He said the ball could hit up in the air, and he said it'd be coming to you, and the next thing you know, it's at first base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard it was very windy there.
Yeah,
windy and cold.
Yeah. So, do you remember playing at Cincinnati? The Great American. You played at Great American.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a great park. I loved playing there. Good hitters park. I mean, for lefties, it was, I think, really advantageous. For righties, I mean, it was fair.
Yeah,
it was nice, good atmosphere. I liked it.
I was just thinking, was there a favorite park you played in that you really loved?
Ooh, tough. I really enjoyed San Francisco. I did.
Really?
Really did. That was beautiful park. Probably my favorite. Petco Park is awesome. And, of course, the historic old Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park. They were outstanding. And Wrigley Field, I mean, it's okay. It was for the history, but I don't think that it's a park that I would choose to play like my last game at. Wrigley Field wouldn't probably make my top 10, put it that way.
And you really wouldn't want to hit the wall out there either.
No. Yeah, I came close. I mean, there's times where I probably couldn't have made the catch, but I'm like, you know what? What's it worth?
Yeah.
I mean, you can end your career. Like you could go up and tear your shoulder up or jam your knee into the brick wall, have surgery, and that's it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That ivy wasn't that much cushion, really.
No, not at all. Especially how cold it was there. I mean, it didn't start growing until June. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a fun place to hit if the wind was blowing out.
Oh yeah. You get that ball up in the air, it'll go.
Exactly. Now, of course, you've been away from baseball a few years now. You have any plans to get back into baseball, or what do you do now with your spare time? I know you don't have a lot to do with the coronavirus going on, but what do you do with, to stay busy, and any plans to coach or get into baseball anyway?
Yeah, so I do lessons. I do hitting and fielding lessons with a few kids locally that I've coached in the past. So I've got about 5 or 6 students that I help. I'm also in the wine business. I'm with Scout and Cellar. Yep, clean crafted wines. So they source wines from all over the world, vineyards that don't use any pesticides. So I was very intrigued. My neighbor informed me of that back in May of 2019. So now I'm an independent consultant for Scout and Cellar. So that's been fun. So I've been doing that.
Well, that's pretty cool. So how do people get is there a website or anything they could go to if they wanted to order some of the wine? Or
yeah, I have my URL. It's www.scoutandcellar.com/Scott Hairston. So they can use that my personal consultant URL to place orders.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know you were into wine. Now I know why. I saw a picture of wine on your. Yeah, it all makes sense.
I love wine. Yeah.
Do you?
I love it. I love talking about it and reading about it. It's a good passion of mine, baseball and wine. So.
Well, in Kentucky, in eastern Kentucky, where I live, it's more moonshine.
Yeah. I've had some moonshine in the past, and that can put you on your butt really fast. I mean, I don't mess with that stuff usually. So.
Yeah, I won't tell the story on here, but you've heard of Mr. Perfect, Tom Browning.
Mm-hmm.
We're good friends, and when we do the banquet here in Fantsburg, well, in Lewis County where I live, we had to move it because it's outgrown that, and we're going to try to have it in Maysville this year if the coronavirus doesn't keep us from doing it. But yeah, I introduced Tom to a little bit of it, and it was 166 proof, and he's never forgotten this.
Yeah, that stuff will put hair on your chest.
It sure will, and he's never forgotten about us. Every time I see him, he talks about it. But Tom's a great guy. But I sure appreciate you coming on here, Scott, and thanks for all the stories. It's been great. Hopefully, you do or become very successful in the wine, and I'll definitely look that up and see what's going on there. But please stay in touch. I really do appreciate. And like I said, you coming on, it means a lot to me.
David, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Nice being part of your show and your last player interviewed before the season. So I appreciate it. And God bless. And baseball's back. So let's just enjoy it. Be healthy, be safe.
Exactly. Thanks, Scott, and stay in touch, okay?
Thank you. Will do.